If you've already looked at the examples of equations of lines, remember there's three different ways you can go about doing those. I'll always use point-slope form. It's just, to me, one of the fastest ways to get the information that I need, especially if you use a calculator. So I've got, these are from your chapter handout, and this is, I'm given 2 points and I need to go find the slope. That's always the first bit of information you need to have, is the slope of the line that you're trying to find. So if you recall your slope formula, it's difference of y's over difference of x's. So I did this problem and I got negative 9/8. This one, if you'll notice, my y values are the same, so I have a slope of 0. This is also a horizontal line. If you plot those points and connect, you'll see that. This one, if you do your slope formula to it, you end up with 0 in the denominator. Slope is undefined. If you plot these points, they will be vertical. And we have to know how to find the equations of all three of these types. Out of, say, 20 problems, 18 of them would be similar to problem number 1, where I actually have a numerical slope. One problem I'd have a slope of 0, one problem I'd have a slope that's undefined. So given these particular points, the next thing I have to do is find the equation of the line that contains those points. As long as you have a numerical slope, you can always use this formula. So with respect to numerical slope, problem 1 and problem 2, I can use this formula. 3, I can't. I can't put undefined in for slope. So let's look at problem 1. I'll move this down. First thing I do is I substitute in the information that I need. I put my y value in for y1, my x value in for my x, and my slope in this location. Now if you'll notice, I use the first point. You can use the second point. It does not matter. You just have to make a decision which one you want to do. I always do cleanup here, so I'll move this down a little bit more. Now the next part with a calculator, this is very nice. Let me get my calculator up. Now negative 9/8 times x, that first one should not be an issue. It's just negative 9/8 times x. But the next part, let me put my negative 9/8 times my 3, and I'm going to go frac it. So I'm going to have a negative 27/8. My calculator is going to disappear when I hit this, but that's alright. Okay, now this is what's so nice with respect to the calculator on these problems. Since I already have negative 27/8 here, all I need to do is add 7. So if I go plus 7, it pulls my answer down, and now I'm going to frac it. So my equation should be y equals negative 9/8 x plus 29/8. And there it is. Calculator's so fast using this process. The next one, I'm going to use one of those points. Let's see which one I used. I used the first one again. I do my cleanup here. Oops, gotta get this piece. So I clean this up. 0 times anything gives me 0. So the equation of my line on this particular problem is just y equals negative 4. It's a horizontal line. My y values, if they match, that's actually what my equation is. The next one, there's really no form I can put it in. I've got to know, and it's sort of similar to the one that we just had here. If you notice, my x values are the same. Well, since my x values are the same, pretty much that's my equation. X equals negative 3. I've got, remember that the slope is undefined, and the only equations that have undefined slope are x equals some number. In this problem, notice that the x values are the same, therefore the equation is x equals negative 3. Got one more problem. I'd like you to pause me. You go ahead and do this problem, and then see if you come up with what I do. So I'm going to put it in the appropriate location. I'm going to clean up this piece here. And now the next thing I do is distribute through. If you do your negative 7/3 times x, you get negative 7/3 x. Negative 7/3 times positive 3 should give me a negative 7. All I need to do now is add 7 to both sides, and that should be your equation. So you've got problems out of section 1-2 that you need to go practice, because like I said in the other video, our first 3 tests, you're going to have to find the equation of a line. Thank you.